Welcome to another edition of the Freethinker News. My name is Derrick Broze, and I'm here to bring you an exclusive interview with Lucas Jewell, the manager of Adam Kokesh's show, Adam versus the Man. As you may know by now, Adam Kokesh, his residence was raided just late last night. He is now being held in a federal detention center, being charged with possession of Schedule I drugs and also being in possession of a firearm. We're here to talk with Lucas to get some more details on the incident and the latest information that we can. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to hear from you, Derrick. Big fan of what you're doing out there in Houston, so keep it up.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. I know it's been a busy, hectic night, but let's start at the beginning. Obviously, the audience, you guys should be caught up by now. Adam planned an open carry march. Plans got changed. Adam went to D.C. to Freedom Plaza. He loaded his shotgun, uploaded the YouTube video. That got to the local news, and they started discussing the possibility of pressing charges on Adam, and apparently that actually happened last night when a warrant was served. So walk us through everything that happened last night.
Okay. My bedroom is right next to the front door, and I was laying there, and I hear really loud bang on the door. So for me, that was an instant cue that when someone bangs like that on your door, they're usually not friendly. So I took off and started running to the back. Ended up making it to the kitchen, but we had three other team members who were trying to exit through the back, and they were all surrounded by SWAT team. So I couldn't actually make it through the door. But I did, whenever I was there, I was stopped. So I was basically like stuck in this middle ground, and I wanted to go outside because they were banging hard on the door, and I had no doubt that they were coming in hard. So it happened really fast, and so the police knocked in the door, and I heard that, and I've never been in a house where a door got knocked down, but I recognized the sound to be what is someone knocking down the door. And after that, I was like, okay, well, the police are in here. I'm going to drop to my knees and put my hands up. I'm a big fan of peaceful resistance and civil disobedience and everything like that. And, you can see a video of my arrest in Philly where they were trying to arrest me for smoking a hand-rolled tobacco cigarette, and I made them carry me out. So I've proven that I'm for peaceful resistance. But in this situation, because what happened was they knocked on the door, they threw in a flashbang hand grenade into the house, and I didn't know it was a flashbang at the time. I just hear like boom, and I'm like, whoa. So I think that someone got shot because it sounds like a shotgun to me. So I'm ultra freaking out right now. I'm on my knees, I have my hands up. So they end up coming in, all kind of guys in just all kind of armor and shields, very fancy military style rifles. They were like decked out. This looked like something you would see in Iraq, and they came, an armed personnel carrier or a light armored vehicle, whatever you want to call it. That's what they came in, and so they come in, they're pointing all these guns at me. So I lay down on the ground, put my hands on my head. Is what they're telling me to do. So when someone has a gun pointed at you like that, it's probably best you listen to what they say.
Especially when they're criminals known to kill people.
Yeah, especially then. I drop, have my hands on my head. I get searched. Everyone else gets searched. I get put in zip cuffs. Some people were put in metal cuffs. Some people were put in zip cuffs. I get put in zip cuffs. And
How many people were present in the house at the time, Lucas?
What is this?
How many people were present in the house at the time? 7?
Yes.
Including Adam?
Yes.
Okay.
So, someone had zip cuffs so tight that their hands were turning purple, and we had to scream because, they put the zip cuffs on us, and they take us. And you're familiar with Adam's house. The front left room?
Yes, sir.
All right. They take us into that room right by the front door. And so we're all in there in zip cuffs, and one person had zip cuffs on so tight their hands were turning purple, and they had 2 guards on the outside of that door, and we're all inside this room just sitting there. And the room is totally ransacked, just like the rest of the house. The whole house was like destroyed. Basically, they had no courtesy on going through things. They were just like ripping things out, just like they were throwing mattresses around. It was really silly and absurd. But
So
yeah,
there,
what is this?
there's reports that they had blueprints of the house, Lucas. So
Yeah.
did they go immediately up to Adam's room? Did it when they came in? Did you get the feeling they knew where they were going?
No. Well, this is the thing. They did have blueprints, and you can sometimes contact the city or whoever approves building permits or whatever, and get that kind of stuff. So it's not like it's like totally absurd that they would have blueprints of the house. And I don't think they came straight to Adam's room. Actually, I know I'm 100% sure they didn't come straight to Adam's room. They because I was in the kitchen and that's where they came. So they did have blueprints in the house, and if you're gonna raid a house, you should probably know the layout before you raid it.
Yeah. So they're gathering everybody up. They're handcuffing you guys and putting you in the front room, which that was my room, by the way. And they eventually find Adam. What do they do with Adam? Do they bring Adam downstairs? Was he upstairs?
Yeah, so they had us all in that little front foyer area by the stairs, and then they take us all into your old room, and we're all in there, and you know how Adam is. He's like they're telling him to sit down, so of course he's gonna stand up, and so they take him down, and then they walk away, and then he stands back up, and they take him back down. They walk away, he stands back up, take him back, over and over again, and then like all of us were like resisting in some way, but Adam was, I've got to say, resisting the most. And so the head detective takes Adam out of the room that we're in and takes him to the kitchen. And like you could like catch a glimpse, like a tight view from part of the room of where he was sitting. But the interesting story of when he was over there by the kitchen is he's cuffed, he's sitting there, and he turns to the guy who's supposedly guarding him, and he's like, "Hey, I have to use the bathroom." The guy kicks him. It was and we were all like sitting there watching. We're like, "No way did this just happen? No way did this guy just like kick a man who's in cuffs, asking to use the bathroom. Like this is ridiculous."
How did Adam respond to that?
I believe the exact quote may have been, "Hey, fucker." I'm not. I mean, like, there's not much you can do when you're in cuffs, but I do believe he said, "Hey, fucker."
So they're going through the house now. I'm somewhat familiar with the house, as you stated, and from reading the media reports, I know that they did go after the safe, which is in the studio room, to look for his guns and paraphernalia and things like that. How long did it take them to actually get into the safe?
Like 4 hours. Yeah, it was like 4 hours. So we were held like 5 hours in that room. 6 people were held for like 5 hours in that room. And one girl, was having girl issues, and there's evidence of that on the floor because they sat there and made her sit and bleed in her own blood, as Ron Burgundy would say.
Sad to hear, man, but that's the way that these people treat us whenever they believe that we are a threat to their current paradigm and to their system. And obviously, Adam has been challenging these things for a number of years, and his most recent actions have really stood in the face of the tyranny that we're seeing take place around the country. And many people would like to just dismiss these actions of some extreme right-wing gun advocate. But I think if you look at Adam's work, and those who choose to go deeper than just this incident, realize that Adam is trying to be about the message of evolving humanity as a growing species as we move towards liberty. And that's what this is all about. It was about bringing awareness to the tyranny of the gun legislation, having this one rule for the rulers in the D.C. area, and yeah, standing up against it. Last time I talked with Adam after his last arrest when he was released, we both spoke about the need to increase the amount of civil disobedience that takes place around this country. And obviously, Adam's taking that seriously. Now, a couple other things I wanted to ask before we get updated with what happened today. I saw some reports that actually there may have been some police officers that were there in the house that were friendly to the cause. Is there any truth to that? Or
Um, no, not really. Because we had a guy who was in the house who, like, because we were in there for 5 hours, so our tones and the way we communicated with these police, which was mainly a one-way conversation, just us talking to them, but our tone changed. And one time, Adam, when he was separated, but you can still hear him. He was sitting there talking to one of the cops, and I'm sitting here looking at the cop and hearing what I'm saying. Adam's like, you gotta feel bad for this, and Adam was like, really, just kind of like, how do you feel about this as a human being, And you could just see in his eyes. He didn't say anything, but you could just see in his eyes to where like it was affecting him and it was bothering him. Like it was clear, and I thought one of them was about to cry. And like you saw his lip quivering, and he was just sitting there like quietly, like kind of like in shock. And it was just like you. I mean, there was two of them who I think we may have got to a little bit.
interesting.
The rest of them were basically just enjoying their time of jackboot thugs and talking about what kind of liquor they were going to drink after they got off.
Wow. So they held you guys in the room. They separated Adam. They break into the safe. They find, some guns, and they find apparently hallucinogenic mushrooms. Now, I just one side note on that. There are some people who are speculating, similarly to the Philadelphia smoke down prohibition, where people believe that they may have planted drugs on Adam. Now, knowing Adam, I'm not necessarily going to say that it's outside of the realm of possibility that these shrooms are Adam's, but anything's possible on the side of the police. Do you have anything to add to that as far as the charges?
Well, this is the weird part, and this is the part that I think bothered everyone in the house, almost like up there in like the top 5 things that bothered us from this, because so many things were fucked up. But so when they come in, they're bringing these big brown bags, like full of I don't know what. We're all locked in this room, so we really can't get a good glimpse. But they're bringing these big brown bags into the house, and we're all like, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to bring the evidence out of the house, not in the house? Like, how are you justifying this? How is this just?
How would you describe the bags in more detail? Was it like a grocery sack, or
yeah, like those big brown bags from a grocery store, except for way bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's bigger than the one from a grocery store, and I mean I couldn't get a clear view of what was in them, but it is kind of suspicious that you would bring in bags that appear to be full.
Yeah. So I also know that among the AVTM crew that there's a strong sense of self-nullifying the drug war. So was anybody else incriminated or found with any so-called illegal drugs in their possession? Was anybody else charged or anything, or was it only Adam that was taken and was ever released?
It was only Adam, and I don't want to comment on what else was in the house, but only Adam was arrested, and that was odd. That they would only take him whenever. I mean, there's plenty of plausible deniability for these. I mean, like I can't even say if there were mushrooms, but if there were mushrooms, there's plenty of like plausible deniability that they were someone else's. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I mean, I don't know. And then there's plenty of reason to think, okay, these guys are bringing bags into our house. Like, what are these bags full of? Are you full of forensic material and you're going to clean up a crime scene? You're going to fingerprint everything? Because that's not what happened. What happened was we sat in that room and we listened to them bang on his safe for like 4 hours to break into it.
Okay. So let's get up to speed then with today. So that was last night. Word got out Adam had been arrested, and now we're hearing, as to be expected from all the media reports, that Adam's refusing to be thumbprinted, he's refusing to be arraigned, and that he has refused to even leave his cell. And I just read a media report that said that tomorrow, he was supposed to be arraigned today to meet the judge, but since he refused to leave his cell, the judge will be actually coming to his cell tomorrow morning to do the arraignment there in his cell. And you guys actually went to go visit him at the detention center today, did you not?
We didn't actually visit with him. We were at the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center, and we, investigated and prodded for as much information as possible. But it was Then we went over to the courthouse, and we found some valuable or semi-valuable information there. And we have, I have all the paperwork. So here it is. Warrant of arrest for felony. And this one is for drugs, possession of Schedule 1 or Schedule 2. So that's the first. And you see right here, this is Class 5 felony. So this is the first one. And this is what we recovered from the court today. We also have here, and we haven't released these documents, by the way, but we will at some point, I'm sure. But we also have here Class 6 felony, which is firearm possession with Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 drug. And then the exact code is, while unlawfully possessing a controlled substance classified in Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 of the Drug Control Act, simultaneously with knowledge and intent to possess a firearm. So that's the Class 6 felony. So there's 2 felony charges right there. And then this is for them coming into the house. Search and seizure warrant was issued July 9th by the not so honorable, even though it says honorable on here, John F. Anderson, United States Magistrate Judge out of Alexandria, Virginia. And then this is just describing the items to be seized. I don't know if you're interested in that.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. And also real quickly, was that warrant shown? I mean, obviously you said you heard a bunch of banging and you saw you heard a flashbang. So I'm not really expecting for you to say that they knocked on the door and showed you the warrant and asked nicely if they could come in. Obviously that didn't happen.
We would have probably peacefully, at least I would have peacefully left the house, and I would have peacefully came out with my hands up, put in cuffs, whatever. I would have done that peacefully. There's no need to, no need for a flashbang. And what if I was walking to the door right when he busted down the door and I nailed by a flashbang? This is dangerous.
So you said there's a list of the items that they were specifically searching for. If you could list that, that'd be interesting, I think.
Okay, we have any and all evidence, fruits, and instrumentalities in violation of 18 U.S.A. Statute 96A and D.C. Code 22.4504 to include the following: documentation of residency, a pump-action shotgun, shotgun ammunition, open or locked containers that could conceal a shotgun or ammunition, documents and receipts for purchases of a shotgun and ammunition, documents related to the planning and organization to produce the aforementioned YouTube videos, which they don't aforemention. So in this thing it says, the aforementioned YouTube video. Where's the aforementioned? You know what I'm saying? Where's the probable cause statement? It's not here. It's an incomplete search warrant. But anyway, so documents related to Kokesh, in all caps, and others conspiring to transport a shotgun into the District of Columbia to violate D.C. and federal law, to include but not limited to maps, emails, letters, and notes.
Interesting. So, this is interesting stuff, man. Obviously, they're trying to paint a picture here. They're painting a picture that if you do stand up, if you do perform acts of civil disobedience, which some of us here on possibly the extreme fringe side of things are basically saying that these laws that they've been setting up for the past couple hundred years now that are impinging upon our freedoms do not apply to us. And that scares this tyrannical state, that scares this government that continues to grow every day. So they're going to continue to do these things. And I honestly expect to see things like this continue to happen, which many of us have predicted for some time. Now, I am interested, though, after the video was put out, was there any talk inside the house? Did Adam say anything to the rest of the crew that, hey, they might possibly come? Did he have any suspicion that, they were going to be coming to the house?
You know what, man? Honestly, the question all the media was asking us was, have the DC police contacted you? Have the DC police contacted you? Have you heard from DC Police Chief Kathy Lanier? Have you, and so the whole time I'm expecting them to say, hello, Adam, we would like you to come in for questioning. We would like you to turn yourself over, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe, I mean, it's not like it's really hard to find a cell phone number or the cell phone number of someone who lives here or contact someone who lives here. Uh, you know, I just think it was a little excessive.
Did Adam expect this at all though? Do you
No,
think?
no, no. We
Okay.
we would have been better prepared.
I think that's kind of what a lot of us are feeling. There's a lot of
We were
activists
expecting.
and people who care about Adam who maybe think that this are hoping or wishing that this could have gone down differently. Obviously, that's a moot point by now, but we're glad that you're okay, man. I want to kind of move on here for a second and take this to a bigger picture now. Now, as Adam's obviously doing his best to resist from the inside, and we're going to support however we can.
Yeah.
From the outside, they're trying to arraign him tomorrow. I've seen one court date saying a possible hearing that would begin all the way in October. So
I found that out today. We also supposedly the arraignment is going to happen at 8:30 in the morning. They're going to give him the option to leave his cell, and I don't know if he'll do it. But the thing is if he doesn't leave his cell, and the judge is there, and the judge is like, "You have to leave your cell," then now it's another charge of contempt of court, and that one will stick. So Adam is a very smart man, and I'm sure he's calculating his risk properly, and I'm sure he's standing on his principles by not leaving his cell and not complying with his kidnappers. But I can only speculate to this point because I'm not in there, and anyone really who's in the media was like, he refused to leave his cell. Although today it was on record that he was supposed to be arraigned, like because we went and looked at a lot of the stuff at court. It was on record that he was supposed to be arraigned today. I don't believe he was arraigned, and no bail has been set. So I doubt they're gonna set bail. But if they do, I don't know if Adam would take it. So it's just,
well, in the meantime, as we're waiting to see what Adam does do, after the last arrest, after the last time that they took him up and put him in a cage and then ended up just throwing him free once they realized he had done nothing wrong, were there any plans put in place now for this to have AVTM continue? Because we've discussed that a little bit, and I believe and I hope that you guys are going to keep pushing, man, and while Adam's in there. But what are the plans now for AVTM?
Well, the plan last time that was administered through a letter that Adam sent to Poe was Adam wanted the show to go on. He wanted everything to keep on going, and then we're gonna have people guest hosting the show, and and then we're gonna have staff members host it sometimes. So Derrick, you're more than welcome. I don't even think I need to extend the invitation. You should already know. Being a former team member, that you're more than welcome if you want to come host for a little bit. Have at it.
We might have to do that, man. I definitely want to make sure that the AVTM brand, so to speak, continues, and that Adam, this message that Adam stands behind so strongly, and not only Adam, because as Adam made it clear the last time we spoke, this is not just about him. This is about what we're all pushing forward, and that's kind of what I want to get into now before we wrap things up and let you go, Lucas. I want to get a little bit more personal with you, and obviously you're a younger dude and you're a part of the AVTM crew, and there's a lot of people who are looking from the outside who don't understand what we're talking about. They think that this is something extreme. They think that Adam is just a rabble rouser, that he's just out to get attention for himself. He's out to make money. He's an agent. All these type of things. And they, looking from that outside perspective, they might look in there and see, wow, he has a whole team of young minds that are being corrupted by this extreme rhetoric, et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel, though, from being in the house, witnessing this, and how has it shaped your view?
Well, first of all, I'm 22 and I'm a Navy veteran, and the next person up in the house, I believe, is like 28 or 27. So I mean, like, it's not like it's really that many young people. Like, I mean, is are you still like considered a young person at 30?
I don't know.
Uh, like, I don't know. I think like I'm getting to the point where I'm almost like maybe not going to be considered young anymore. I don't know. Some people, like, kids call me sir and stuff. It's weird. But anyway, what you're talking about. So what is the deeper issue? What is the deeper?
How is this going to shape your experience? That's what I'm really getting at here is like, so you're 22, I'm 28 as well. And yeah, there's probably some people who still consider us young, but my main focus is that Adam has a voice, a powerful voice, and the media recognize that, the government recognizes that, the state recognizes that, which is why they're targeting people with powerful voices who have an audience and who are listening and who can wield influence. Now, we're not looking to Adam as a leader, but we're seeing the message. That's what brings it home. So, is this coming and grabbing people from their houses, throwing them in cages? Do you think this is going to discourage people from getting involved, monitoring of the police on activists? Do you think that kind of thing discourages people, or is this only going to inspire you and others like you and I to continue on?
Well, I can tell you that I mean, it's not going to discourage me personally. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it moving, and I'm going to try to basically just be a beacon of like positivity and good things, hopefully, and let everything else sort itself out. As far as as far as like the deeper understanding and like maybe my mindset going into the future, I actually, like, if someone asked me what the percentage chance that we would get raided was, I would probably say like under 5%. So like maybe now I'm just more aware, and maybe I could be more prepared. But in all honesty, like, what did I really lose? Like, I lost 5 hours of my time, and I lost probably like some years off of my life from the almost heart attack I had when I thought I was about to be killed. But besides that, like, I really haven't I've lost time. That's the only thing I've lost, and I've gained stress. And so for me personally, it wasn't really something that would deter me from doing it again. It wasn't really something that's going to deter me. It's kind of like, I was arrested at the last smoke down. I'm going to be at the next smoke down smoking too. So it is. I mean, like, you can't. Once someone has a rebellious spirit in their soul, you can't suppress it. Like Ron Paul said, once an idea's time has come, its time has come. No government or army can stop it.
And you can't put the fire out, man.
Think about that guy in China. It was, what is it, Tiananmen Square? He's standing there. He's running. He's running from the tank. He's putting his body on the line. He's saying, you know what? I don't like what y'all are doing here, and I'm gonna do what I can as an individual to make a difference. And now he's remembered in history as someone who stood up and made a difference. Like, he didn't do it for that, though. He didn't do it saying, well, I'm going to be super famous and everyone's going to watch this clip for years and years and years and years to come. But he said, you know what, this is the right thing to do, and regardless of the outcome, this is what I've been called to do. And I think I've been called to do something similar to what Adam has been called to do, although I'm not really big on being a broadcaster, hosting any kind of podcast or anything like that. But, I do have skills, techniques, and ingenuity that can help him, obviously, if he's maybe his manager, and, help further the message.
Thank you very much, Lucas. Before we let you go, just one last thing, man. Say what you got to the audience. What other message you got from the AVTM crew?
Hey, I just want to say everyone is in good health. We're all keeping our cool. Obviously, there's been a lot of, no sleep, no eating, stuff like that. But that's part of the game. Everyone just stay tuned. We're going to be announcing a rally at the jail or the courthouse. We haven't decided on exact location, but we will be announcing a rally most likely tonight. And just stay active. Don't bow down to government tyranny. Don't cower to these men in silly costumes. Stand up. You are free. beautiful, independent human being who owns yourself. So you don't have to request to be free from the government, and you're not going to vote your way into freedom. And I guess the only other thing I would say is to actually take the non-aggression principle into practice in your life, uh, and live free. Stop waiting on permission. Just live it. Just do what you want. You're only going to live once. You want to live trapped in a cage in your mind. Just going through your day-to-day life, going to the same job that you hate, for the same boss that you hate, driving your same car that you hate, into the same house that you hate, to the same wife that you hate. Or you can liberate yourself and do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Dr. Stephen Covey said, between stimulus and response is your greatest freedom to choose. So think about that. You're stimulated by something and you respond. What's in between that is freedom. That's what freedom is to me. And if you live free in your mind, I think your body will only follow.
Thank you, Lucas, very much. And as we like to say in Houston, man, live free, think free, and you will be free. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is Derrick Broze with the Houston Freethinkers News signing off.